Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Oblong Polka Dots and my name is Kerr, and on this channel we talk about makeup, skincare, and beauty. So if that's something you're into, you've come to the right place. Hola a todos, bienvenidos a mi canal Oblong Polka Dots. Me llamo Kerr y en este canal hablamos de maquillaje, cuidado de la piel y belleza. Entonces, si eso es algo que te gusta, has venido al lugar correcto. Welcome everybody. I'm going to memorize that intro at some point. It's going to happen. So, I'm in a hurry. Who's surprised? Raise your hands. No one? I don't even know what look I'm going for, you guys. I really don't. Is the camera crooked? I feel like we're a little crooked. We crooked? We okay? Okay. I don't know what I'm going for, so we're going to really try and power through this. I have my Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. My trusty friend that's going to get us through the day. Keep our eyeshadow from creasing and moving around, and is an all-around great gal. Throw some of that on there. Okay, and then, yeah, I can't remember. I think this palette does have some fallout, so we're going to actually just start with the eyes. I have that Ace Beaute palette that I showed you guys from before. This is the one that's called Flare, and I'm going to go for kind of a neutral-ish look. So I'm going to focus on these two shadows right here. Oops, are we in frame? These two. Okay. So I always go lightest to darkest, darkest being on the outer corner, lightest being on the inner corner. So Acorn is that deeper shade, and we're going to throw that right here. And if you've never used the Ace Beaute palettes, they're very pigmented. So just keep that in mind when you're dipping your brush in there. Don't go crazy, get nuts, because you might end up being surprised. So that's that. That's all we're doing with Acorn. And then for the rest of the lid, let's switch it up actually, because this color Mulberry is kind of calling my name. Let's try this one out right here. Mulberry. Same brush. I'm going to pop that right next to Acorn. Okay, so now we're getting that kind of mauve-y look. I like that. Let's pop that on the rest of the lid. I'm here for it. This is my kind of shadow. And we just went and overlapped with Acorn. Since we took some of that out, we're going to pop some of it back in. There we go. Don't worry, Acorn. Nobody forgot about you. But we also don't want you to take over, so behave yourself. Okay, what do you think? Pretty basic. We can go over the top of it with Biscotti, but before we grab Biscotti, let's go ahead and reach for our trusty NYX glitter primer. Pop some of that on our lid so we can make sure that Biscotti also pops. When you're using this primer, you guys, it's going to lift up whatever color is underneath, so keep that in mind, because this stuff is intended to hold glitter. It's pretty strong. It's got quite the grip. So all you're going to do is lay that primer down where you want that shadow to be the most intense. And I always suggest using a synthetic brush when you do that, because I think that with a natural hair brush it just sticks too much. We're using the same brush, just the other side. And we're going in here with Biscotti, which was this color right here. Biscotti. Let's pop that on the lid. Wow. So Biscotti is definitely like a pewter. Not sure if you're catching that on camera. I gotta figure out about the white balance. Really what I need to do, you guys, is just get another camera. I film using my phone, and there's nothing wrong with that, but this specific phone is not doing it for me anymore. So I'm looking into getting an iPhone against my husband's better judgment. He's not a big fan, but I like iPhones because I think their cameras are awesome. So Everywhere else that we pop biscotti, it's not going to be as pigmented. And we're just putting that right there. Just blending the rest of it in. Then we're going to grab ourselves a quick little fluffy brush. Right here, we're going back in with mulberry. And we're going right over the top of that. Right up into the crease. Make sure all those colors are friends and they have somewhere to hang out. Just like that. Alright. That's as basic a look as you're going to get, you guys. Right? What do you think? Not sure I like it. Not sure I don't like it either. I just popped a little bit of that biscotti on the brush to blend in with that mulberry coming up into the crease. And suddenly I like it more. Yeah. It's a little better blended. Okay. Let's quit chatting, because you know I can talk your ear off. And today we're going to go in with the... Oh, let me check and see if I have any fallout. Ooh, only a little tiny bit. That's pretty good. Especially considering how pigmented these colors are. They're actually packed... Oops, I didn't mean to drop that. Hold on. They're actually packed into the pan pretty well. We're going to take a little bit of this Clinique. Take the day off. I'm going to clean up that small amount of fallout. And then we'll continue with the rest of the face. Again, I'm going to hurry, so we're going to make it quick. I'm not putting a base on today, but I am going to put on a primer. And I am going to put on some concealer. There we go. Quick cleanup, right? Alright, so for the primer, we have the NYX Marsh Mellow Primer. For anyone that's sensitive to fragrance, I don't suggest this because it does have some kind of vanilla fragrance or something like that in there. So, anyone else that's not sensitive to fragrance, this is a really fantastic primer. I like it a lot. I think that it does the trick. It feels just like the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, the one that comes in the little disc in the circle, but is more moussey and smells like vanilla, like a marshmallow or a cupcake, something to that effect. But it does the trick for the day. And then for my face, here it is. I have the Milani Undereye Brightener. It's in number 4, Nectar. It's the Conceal and Perfect. I use this just to cancel out the shadows that are underneath my eyes, as well as the melasma that's on my lip. And this is to help balance out the colors that are on my face. All natural, of course, but I don't necessarily want them hanging out, being the star of the show for the day. So we're going to neutralize those. And we do that with a concealer that's going to be orange or red for my skin tone. And then on top of that, we're going to go in with this Pat McGrath Skin Fetish concealer. Sorry, I meant to say color corrector a minute ago. This is a concealer. This is in the shade M21. This has a very yellow color and it's very pigmented. So if you haven't used this before, just be aware that you don't need a lot. A little bit goes a long way, as I probably put too much on just now. It's a learning curve with me because I'm really not used to a concealer having this much pigment in it. It's just like, wow. At first I thought it was quite expensive, but now I can see why. Because you don't need a lot. You just, a tiny little bit is fine. I think my only complaint about this specific concealer is when it shade matched me online, I feel like it's too yellow. I know, I say it every time I use it, but I mean, it blends okay. It just seems quite yellow for me, or orange. I guess I could say yellow. But can you see how easily it blends in? And all we're doing is tapping, by the way. Just a tap tap. And it blends in so quickly, especially for something this pigmented. It's like, wow, impressive. Let's put a little here, put a little bit here, just to diffuse it a little. I don't know if I'm going to purchase this concealer again though, because in reality, the one from Lancome is my favorite. And I just feel like I found a holy grail concealer for myself. I don't need to try and replace it. Okay, for the face, I was going to also go in and do a little bit of bronzing. This is the Juvia's Place bronzer, and it's in the shade Amber. I have a little brush here. This stuff is also really, really pigmented, so when I use it, I really don't need a lot. It blends easily though, and then we're doing a number 3. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where we're just coming down and we're doing it in the shape of a 3, like this. Okay, that's more than sufficient. So now we're going to go in with another brush and we're just going to blend it out. Ooh, you guys, I need to wash my brushes. It is time. I really like this bronzer because it has just enough red in it for me, but not too much. I've had a lot of bronzers at this point that have been overwhelmingly red. And I'm like, that's not quite what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's a little more chocolatey. But look at how well this blends. It just blends so easily. Like, so easily. If you're new to bronzer, like me, this is like a perfect starter bronzer. Because despite the fact that it's so pigmented, you can still work it in easily. And I work it right into the hairline. Okay. See how that warms the face back up and offers a bit of chisel? And then on top of this, we are going to put some blush and we're going to put some powder. So for my powder today, I'm going in with the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. And this is in the shade Caramel. I haven't used this before. I just opened it for the first time. So we're going to see how well this sets the look. I think it should be okay though. I waited forever to get this because every time I went into my Sephora, it was sold out. I was like, who's buying this? Leave a little for me. So I finally ordered it online and I'm glad that I did. Because I was like, I heard this is so nice and it feels good. Very, very nice powder. What do you think? It's a good finishing powder. If there's a day that's you don't really want to put a base on, but you want your face to look at least balanced, that's a fantastic option. I like the way that blended in. I have my NARS cheek palette here. I don't even know what shade I want. I always grab for the same ones. You can kind of see how I like work into the same ones every time. So we're just going to kind of blend these all together and see what we come up with. These are the, what do you call that formula? Like the gelée formula. So you have to kind of break the seal first. That's on top of the blush itself. And then you can kind of work it in with this brush. If you do buy this palette, you're probably going to have to buy it like secondhand. I don't even think they sell it anymore, but it is worth the purchase. I love this palette. I love NARS products in general for their powder products, so their blushes specifically. Ta-da! Look at that. Whew. Hello. Let's pull a little bit underneath the eye. Just a little. I know. I've been doing my blush further back, but gosh, I really like to bring it down a little bit. Okay, so let's set all of this before we get going with the rest of the eye. We're going to use our Milani Peach Scented Make It Last Peach Scented Setting Spray. This is discontinued. They don't make it anymore. So if you find it at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's, snatch it up, honey. Love it. And get the cherry one too if you see that one. My brows are tattooed, so I'm not going to fill them in. Sometimes I do though. And when I do, it's going to be with this pencil from MAC in the shade Spiked. But today we're just using the pencil to groom the lashes. I have an Avon liner here. It's the Avon True Color Glimmer Sticks Waterproof Eyeliner in Smoky Gray. I don't normally use gray anything, but I just wanted to. I was intrigued. Plus, this was in my Shop My Stash. Shout out if you saw that video. I'm trying to use more of my products, and I'm really grateful that one of my subscribers mentioned I should do Shop My Stash videos. And I was like, ooh, good idea. I had a series that I was going to start called the Compass Case because I normally would put all of my products in my little compass case to try and use more products, but I realized that doesn't hold enough products for variety for the week. So shopping my stash seems to be working out a little bit better. I'm grabbing for more things. Let's go ahead and pull that liner right to the corner here on the bottom. I'm not lining my lower lash line because it's going to close my eye off, and I feel like when I do that it ages me, so just the corners, okay? And then for our mascara, who can guess? Fenty's Hella Thick. This stuff is amazing. I love this mascara so much. I will not shut up about it. I know y'all gotta be sick of me by now. You gotta be. Look at that though. It's like putting a pomade on your lashes. I don't know. I don't know what this product is. I don't understand how she did this. I just know I love it, and I have 2 more as backups. You know I throw my mascara out frequently, so I try not to get too attached to higher end brands, and I try to stick with brands that are high quality but at an accessible price point. So think Essence, Lash Princess, those kind of mascaras. This one though, oh well, it stole my heart. Not much I can do about it. Really? Did I just poke myself? I sure did. So I poked myself in the eye. No surprise. But we're going to let that mascara dry. That just flaked. We'll flake it off later. So yeah, if you ever get mascara in a spot where you don't want it, don't do anything about it until it dries, and then just flake it off with a Q-tip or something. If you try to clean it off while it's still wet, it's going to make a mess. What's nice about this mascara is that it does dry fairly quickly, so I'll fix it in a minute. For my lip, I have a oldie but a goodie. It's the NYX Butter Gloss. I love these, you guys. So this one is in the shade Raspberry Pavla. I'm going to pop this on the lip. Yay! That's it. I think we're done here. Aside from the fact that I told you I'll clean this up, this is the look. Let me know what you think. I love looks like this, you guys. It's like quick, one and done, one and done. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.